Clean Air Action Days are on the rise in West Michigan, and that means more calls for all of us to cut back on things like cutting grass and filling our gas tanks. But what is it that goes into determining whether an alert is called, and how accurate are the predictions? Barton Dieters is looking at the numbers and talking with experts. Good evening, Barton.
Hi, Tom. Last year, West Michigan had 3 Clean Air Action Days the entire year. So far this summer, we've had 10. While Grand Rapids and Lakeshore are often grouped together in these alerts, the relative pollution measured in the air can be very different. It's a summer staple in West Michigan, hearing the declaration of a Clean Air Action Day and the recommendations that come with it.
And those are quick and easy, simple things that they can do to make a difference for air quality. That's waiting to mow your lawn, waiting till 6 p.m. to mow your lawn. Put gas in your car.
The call comes when it is determined that there will likely be an increase in the number of pollutant particulates in the air. That's higher than 70 parts per billion. That can trigger asthma in some people and also has an impact on the air quality.
Anytime you're pumping anything into the atmosphere, there is that chance of a long-term impact, no matter how slight.
The vast majority of scientists believe these man-made chemicals will have an impact in terms of climate change.
So yeah, pollutants do have a long-term impact.
The decision to declare Clean Air Action Day is made by the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality.
Clean Air Action Day is just a forecast saying these are the locations that will likely have high ozone today.
After the forecast, they do measurements to see what actually happened. We looked at the Michigan DEQ website measurements from this year and found that in many cases, Grand Rapids did not hit that 70 parts per billion measurement, while Holland and Muskegon was often much higher. The air comes over the lake from Chicago, Gary, and elsewhere, and as the air travels over the lake, the sun heats it up, causing a photochemical reaction that creates more ozone in the air.
Kind of like a double-baked oven. So those pollutants out over the lake get a double shot of solar radiation, once passing through, and second when it passes back up on reflection.
And a southwest wind means the air often hits the lakeshore with its highest concentration of pollutants.
Holland and Muskegon seems to be really the bullseye where those things tend to hit.
The scientists say it may be, as the air travels and the amount of sunlight decreases, the particulate count drops. But there's also the as yet unproven possibility that people are just getting the message.
We have a lot of people that are participating on at least some of those days, so that's all like emissions. It's a lot of cars that aren't on the road with people taking the bus. That's all stuff that's not going into the air.
I would hope that that would be the case, that people are listening and they're taking action. Maybe it's keeping things below that threshold.
Of course, there's no real way to measure whether people waiting to cut their lawns or top off their tanks is really making a difference. But the Grand Valley Metro Council has done surveys that show 90% of people know about and some 70% participate in at least some of the time in the Clean Air Action Days. We have more tips and air quality numbers at woodtv.com. In studio, Barton Dieters, 24 Hour News 8.